Jungkook's tears are revealed, but what really happened behind the moment that left the entire fandom speechless? Why did Jungkook's expression feel different that night? Not just fatigue, not just plain newness, but like there was a wound that he had been keeping in the dark. And even more surprising, why did Taehyung's reaction make everyone even more unprepared to accept reality? It all started from Jungkook's latest live broadcast. At first, he looked like his usual self, cheerful, joking, greeting the audience with his warm energy. But everything changed when a fan sent a simple question: "What is the thing you hide the most from us?" The question stopped Jungkook for a moment. His gaze was blank, his breathing heavy, and his smile simply disappeared. Sometimes, Jungkook paused. "I feel like I can't forget everything just because I want to look strong." His voice trembled. His eyes were glazed. He blinked rapidly over and over, trying to hold back something that clearly wanted to come out. ARMY knew right away it was not a joke, not an act. That unspoken heartbreak finally touched the surface. The moment exploded on social media. Everyone asks, Jungkook heartbroken? About what? Or about who? But this story got even more emotional when the broadcast was over. Taehyung, who was not present at the live, suddenly posted a short but heartfelt message. Not all wounds have to be told. The important thing, there is someone who is always there to heal him. Just one sentence. But the whole fandom immediately shivered. The post seemed to be an answer to a cry that even Jungkook did not have time to let out. Shortly thereafter, photos of the two leaving the studio were circulated. Jungkook lowered his head, his hoodie covering his face, his steps quick, as if he wanted to hide the remaining tears that had not dried. Taehyung walked right behind him, looking at him with concern. Not his usual expression, but like he knew exactly how much weight Jungkook had endured alone all this time. Fans are left wondering, is Taehyung the one who knows all those 6 stories? Has Jungkook always trusted Taehyung with his secrets? Or does this heartbreak involve something much more complex than the public is ready to reveal? What is clear? One thing cannot be ignored now. Jungkook has been holding everything silently for a long time. And when her self finally cracks, Taehyung is the first to stand behind her. But that night didn't seem to be the end. Precisely since then, signs have increasingly emerged that there is something much bigger going on behind the scenes, something that even fans have never seen from Jungkook before. The next day, a staffer who worked at the training site shared his testimony, without naming names, that the training atmosphere that day felt quiet and heavy. Jungkook came early, practiced alone in the corner of the room for almost an hour without talking to anyone. As the other members started arriving, he immediately stopped and wiped his face, as if he didn't want anyone to see anything. Meanwhile, Taehyung, according to the source, approached Jungkook several times but always retreated back, as if to offer comfort, but was afraid to push him further hurt. In the midst of a situation, there was one moment that stunned everyone. During the rehearsal break, Taehyung sat next to Jungkook without a word. No conversation, no laughter, not even eye contact. But slowly Jungkook lowered his head and let out a long sigh, and Taehyung just put his hand on Jungkook's shoulder without saying anything. No need for a voice, because it looks like they both know what's going on. It was not a dramatic scene for the camera. That's not fan service. It was something that was only done by someone who is truly aware of the depth of one's wounds. What made fans even more shaken was when Taehyung suddenly wrote a comment on a personal platform, a short but heavy sentence. Even the most powerful man can be destroyed if he has to be strong alone. Shortly thereafter, Jungkook posted something as well. Not a photo, not a vlog, not a long sentence, just one cryptic message. I tried. Those 2 words were enough to make the ARMY fall silent thousands of kilometers away. Try what? Hold on? Forgetting? To be strong? Or pretend not to be hurt? Since then, many fans have begun to notice small details that during this time may have gone unnoticed. Jungkook's increasingly rare smile, forced-sounding jokes, the way he switches topics when discussing relationships between members, and the way Taehyung always watches Jungkook from afar without stealing the spotlight. The heartbreak Jungkook was referring to about losing someone? About friendship? About trust? Or about himself? No one knows for sure, except maybe Taehyung. And that's what makes it all the more emotional. Because of everyone, Taehyung is the only one who seems to know the full story behind Jungkook's tears. 2 days after the live event, the fandom mood still hasn't died down. Hashtags about Jungkook and Taehyung filled global social media. Many posted encouraging posts, many speculated, but the most interesting thing is how the media began to notice the movements of both. During a taped group interview a few days after the live, ARMY again discovered small details that felt too meaningful to ignore. Jungkook answered the question calmly as usual, but when the host asked about mental resilience in the midst of pressure, he smiled, a smile that felt empty, and replied, "I'm learning not to keep everything to myself." What made the moment even more emotional was that the camera accidentally caught Taehyung turning his head towards Jungkook, and his eyes were filled with worries that were hard to hide. He even moved the chair a little closer, as if to make sure Jungkook felt safe. A small gesture, but enough to make the ARMY who were watching instantly touched.